What's one thing that no matter how many times you're taught, you can't do it? Making that low whistle sound by blowing into your hands. Also, a shrill whistle. You mean making your hands into something similar to an ocarina? I learned it like a year ago maybe from YouTube, and I remember how hard it was to make sound at first. I practiced and now I can do melodies whenever I want. Sell myself it sounds too much like bragging, and I always fall back on self-deprecation and cring my co-workers instead. For a second I thought you meant prostitution, and that you couldn't get any clients. Good lord yes, I'm in the same boat. But props to latter dude for helping you to get there. Same here. I can't ever say anything nice about myself that isn't actually a compliment to someone else in disguise, downplaying the achievement as no big deal and or somehow implying how there are people out there much better than me. Tell left from right. I still have to use the crutch of recalling which hand I write with to remind myself. Every time. Your left hand makes a capital letter L. It's how I taught preschoolers left and right. Well, depends which way you hold your hand. Remember that you can use this tip while driving without taking your hands off the wheel. Yeah, but then you have to remember to have your palms facing away when you do that. It just seems unnatural to have them any other way. Does it? If someone tells me to look at my hands, I'll look at my palms. Fold a fitted bedsheet neatly. This is exactly why I posted this. The wife and I are doing laundry ATM. I watched 2 or 3 YouTube how-to videos before I gave up, balled the sheets up, and put them in the closet. Marie Kondo taught me it's okay just to roll it up and stick it in a bin, so that's what I'm doing forever now. Roll them into a tube that looks more intentional, and you can roll up the pillowcases and top sheet so they stay together. Do that loud whistle with my fingers. I've tried my entire life. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but I'm pretty sure you have to be a balding dad with hairy arms to do it right. Yeah, no, I believe you're right. I'm definitely not balding, and I'm also not a dad, and I don't have hairy arms. I'm just a middle-aged mom. That's got to be why it doesn't work. If you don't have arms, finger whistling is definitely not going to be your strong suit. Certainly not. My mom has a whistle that will blow an eardrum. She can use any combination of fingers to whistle, even a pinky and thumb combo. When my siblings and I were kids we would play in pretty big neighborhood. She would walk outside and whistle. Everyone in the neighborhood would know when it was a dinner or time to come in for the night, etc. Write with my right hand. My parents tried endlessly to break me of being left-handed, but nothing worked. Trying to force myself to write right-handed just doesn't work. To be fair, there is no reason that you should have to. Apparently, stuttering is a common side effect of being forced to write with your non-dominant hand. Aside from the fact that many everyday things assume the user is right-handed, you're basically trying to rewire your brain. Some people think left-handedness is evil of the devil. I still don't actually understand why. Sinister hand literally means left-handed. The right eye is oculus dexter and the left eye is oculus sinister. FWIW odd is the right eye and os is the left. Certain pronunciations of words, I can hear it multiple times even beforehand and still mess it up. Foreign languages make it even worse. Cinematography and prestidigitation. I used to repeat them over and over until I got them right. I have English as a third language. Finger snapping. Seriously, how do you make that click sound? I've tried a long time, and whenever I do I just create a soft flick. The sound comes from when your finger strikes the fleshy bit of your thumb. Specifically, the bottom crease bit where your thumb and the rest of your palm join. You're not hitting it so hard that your palm makes that sound. You're trapping a tiny bit of air in that crease, and when that air rushes out, that's what makes the sound. You shouldn't actually feel like you're hitting your palm hard. It's just like sliding your finger along your thumb really fast. My finger isn't positioned above the crease you're talking about, so I've found it helpful to keep half of my ring finger under the place my finger will land. This creates a similar air pocket. Ah, right. I forgot that I snap with my middle finger. Yes, that's the other way I was told to do it. You guys are right about whistling. I can't seem to apply any socializing advice I receive. I'm pretty sure some people's mouths aren't designed for whistling. It's the same kind of deal as blowing across the top of a bottle, but you do it across your own mouth, so you kind of have to angle how you blow. Rolling my R's. Thanks guys for telling me your methods, but there's a reason this question is, no matter how many times you're taught, you can't do it. German guy here, not sure if this is helpful for English speakers. Can you do the CH sound? Like in Johann Sebastian Bach pronounced correctly, not with a CK sound? If yes, here it goes. Instead of dready, Sage Frund equals tune Britachen equals BCH and getting tricky here because of the to CHS. Or instead of great Sage cheat ready equals cheddy. If you got that down, you are almost done. Do it a few times, and then try to use your voice during the CH sound. I'm Hispanic and this explanation is the closest I've ever come to being able to do it. I think with practice this will be the way I learn how to do it. Thank you so much. Drive a manual transmission car. Yeah, me too. I can do it sometimes but not enough to go driving around by myself. Spotted the American. Here in Germany we have to learn how to drive with manual. We even have a lesser license for only automatic, with which you are only allowed to drive automatic. I can do it, but I much prefer not having to take mental bandwidth away from the road on shifting when automatics do it for you. It just feels safer to have your hands and feet going to less places per minute. When driving stick becomes second nature, it's more safer than automatic because you're far more mentally engaged while driving due to the need to shift. Whereas an automatic allows you to get cocky and just check this text real quick. Put in contacts. I stick with glasses because of it. I'm in the same boat, my friend. I look way better without glasses, but I can't do contacts, and I can't see 5 feet ahead of me without them. How to hold chopsticks and whistling with fingers. Chopsticks are easy. The thing people seem to miss is that the bottom stick is held firmly in place and should not be easy to budge. The second one is just held there by pinching, like you'd probably expect. The second one is the only one that should move. Practice with just the first stick and make sure you're holding it firm, then add the second. Sadly I'm Chinese and a disgrace, but I'll practice more. The way 7788 said is how a white guy learned, but it looks nothing like how most Chinese hold their chopsticks, so you'll probably still be teased, even if you learn it. Another thing I notice is people hold their chopsticks really low to the picking up end. I know they come in different lengths, but generally speaking, I always hold mine very high up, and it's easier to control. Algebra. Like I'm 32 now and still don't have a clue. I'm 33 and have no clue whatsoever. Luckily, I haven't had a single situation occur since high school where I've slapped my head and cursed the gods for not making me pay more attention in algebra. Swimming. I sink to the bottom. Fortunately I'm tall enough to not drown when I hit the bottom. Yeah, I cannot float in water despite trying for decades. I've tried so many techniques, but I sink right to the bottom every single time. Sadly, I don't have the height advantage you do, so I stick to shallow water. A cork floats because it has air. Try blowing your lungs and stomach up with air and going into fetal position. You will notice yourself floating. Once you understand and get the hang of breathing and moving your hands and feet in synchronization, swimming will become easier. No air equals sink, which means you have to move your arms, kind of like pulling yourself up onto a ledge. Have air equals float, which means you can move your hands down a fane, preparing for the next time you have to move them. At least that's how I understand it. Throwing a football the American kind. I live in Europe. I don't play, watch, or care about American football, but I happen to have this skill because of a junior high school teacher. A lot of it is in how you hold the ball. You should be loosely gripping it in your fingers, not so much on your palm. Your last 3 fingers grip the laces, while your index finger holds the ball on the seam closer to your body. This is what stabilizes the ball as you throw it. The ball should feel like it rolls off your fingertips. I hope this helps. I've never tried to put it in words before, just gone through life amused by being the 5'3" female hockey fan who randomly knows how to throw a football. To really spin it, snap your index finger down. Whistle. I can kind of do it, but there is no way I can whistle a song. Whenever I say I cannot whistle, everyone's response is to try to teach me to whistle, but to no avail. I don't really care, though. I'm a decent enough singer, so that's good enough for me. I also can't swim, despite taking swimming lessons every summer as a kid and even being required to take a swim class in high school. Changing a tire. I've been shown this multiple times, and it still doesn't stick with me. 1 point place jack, 2 point unscrew nuts, 3 point pull out tire, 4 point put new tire in, 5 point tighten nuts. Snap my fingers. Everyone has tried to teach me and it just never works. I have very short fingers and smaller hands, but my palm to finger ratio just does not allow it. Pretty sure the sound comes from your one finger hitting part of your palm, correct? Yeah, I can't do that, lol. Doing a backflip. I can easily do one on a trampoline, but I can't seem to be able to do one on the ground. I have watched countless videos on how to do it, but they make it look so easy, and when I try, I end up getting injured. I'm afraid I'll land funny and snap my neck. I can do a backflip and front flip on trampoline, and in a swimming pool, but not on flat solid ground.